Okay, so firstly, I set you all a challenge last week. So Nick, if you can hear, do us a favor, just drop it in the chat, how your week's been, and if you were able to take up the challenge.
Oh God, I forgot the challenge. What was the challenge?
Oh, Ray!
No, but I have been very active online. I have been active.
Joel remembers.
I've been active online, but I've been very out of it in other ways.
Okay, so the challenge was to have a look at the feedback you've received or the questions you've received from people on your own post. Yeah, ring a bell?
Yeah, I do, and then make a post about that. Yes, exactly, and then try. Yes, okay. Yes, I didn't do it. Okay. But I feel very proud of myself that I've done more posting. I've been trying to keep up with the 3 post challenge at least a week. So I'm ahead of myself.
Stepped up your game. You stepped up your game.
So I have been responding to people, and I have been kind of engaging with people, and I've been asking questions, and they've been asking questions back.
Okay.
And I've had about 4 or 5 kind of like levels deep as well.
Good. So have you seen your activity and your engagement then go up over the last week?
On my SSI score?
No, just on your engagement generally.
Oh, shit, I need to check that.
Have you seen what your engagement's been like over the last week? Does everybody know how to check that?
No, I don't. No.
Okay. So if you go
I'm checking my SSI right now.
Okay, don't go off the subject. Don't go off the subject.
No. So find that engagement.
Yeah. So on so let me just see, because I've just realized home. Here we go. Give me a second. I'm just gonna put lots of messages open, so I just need to shut some of these down.
Yes, you do. Impressions on my post, is that it?
That's the one.
Oh, it's
2,660.
Okay, right. So that's how we're talking about engagement. So how many impressions have they got?
We're looking at overall impressions, comments, and likes on your post.
Yeah, that's been
really down by 31%.
Oh, is there a percentage? Where do I find the percentage?
Okay, hold on, Joel, so we don't confuse everything. What did you say yours has been, Ray?
What?
You say yours has gone up overall.
No. What's the question?
The question is on your engagement when it comes to impressions, likes, and comments. What's the activity been like?
Well, I got so show my activity web minute. I'll tell you. If I go to my posts, for instance, the post I did first, that had about 809 impressions. The next one had 1,100 impressions. Then it went to 803 impressions from Mile in Their Shoes. And the one I think I did yesterday is 259 impressions.
Okay.
So it's going sort of erratic, sort of up, down. Or up, down, up. Or up, down, up, whatever.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Up, down, up.
It was actually up. Still down a little bit, but still quite up and then down.
Okay. Impressions. Okay, so if you go, Ray, can you share? You won't be able to if I don't hit the button. There we go. If you share screen.
Yeah, share screen. Yeah.
To your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, here we go. See that?
Yeah, and I go to my profile. So just click on your picture. Yep. There we go. Scroll down.
Yeah,
okay, stop there. Whoop, further down. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so on the analytics.
Yes.
So this is the part we want to have a look at today as an example. So if you look at the analytics, you've got 44 profile views.
Yeah.
Okay, 2,700 post impressions, 7 search appearances. So those are figures that need to massively ramp up. To give you, I'll show you mine in a few minutes. And I haven't been as active because of my long COVID over the last couple of months has been a little bit worse than normal. So I haven't been as active as I usually am. But my figures are still fairly
Hi.
Yeah, well, you'll see what the figures are. I'll show you what mine are. On the low side at the moment, but we need to get yours up there. And the only way to get it up there to make sure that things like your profile views, so more people are coming to your profile, is being consistent, which you've just started now with those 3 posts a week. So producing content that's going to attract people to come and visit your profile.
Yeah.
And remember, content is also engagement on other people's profiles. So if you think about those 3 items, so number 1 is profile views. Why would you get profile views? Any idea?
Well, presumably
Because people are looking at the
like what
profile.
I've posted about, and they think, "Who's this bloke?" And so they're checking me out.
Okay. So in which ways can you increase your profile views? What do you think? What are the top activities you think you can do?
Maybe a topless photo.
Oh Lord, no, that would decrease it, Ray.
So that's quite interesting. So I'll tell you why, because remember right in the beginning, we spoke about the 1990 concept.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you go and, Raymond goes and poses in the nude for a picture on LinkedIn, and
He'll get banned.
Well, number 1, he'll get banned. Yeah, that'll eventually happen. But he may not if nobody sees it. If he goes and posts, and as an example, his own network are not active on LinkedIn because he's not connected to anybody, or connected to anybody who's active. So this is important to realize. Where you can have a network of 10,000 people, but if all of those 10,000 people never post, never engage, never comment on anybody's, then really that network is worth nothing because nobody is impacting each other's reach. So if you want to increase the profile views, how do you think you can do that? So we've covered this in different ways over the last few weeks. What are the key things you think are going to drive profile views up?
Well, obviously, it's reaching out and finding out to engaging with new people or people that I need to that I need to connect to. So even if I haven't connected to them, if I'm actually reaching out or at least sort of viewing their posts and commenting, they're more likely to see who I'm all about.
Yeah. Okay. Nick, you said make changes to it. What can you give us some context to that? Joel, what are your thoughts?
Engage with other people's posts, build relationships, and then tell them what you do as an afterthought.
Okay. So
in other words, talk about yourself last.
Add to your profile info. Yeah. So correct. So there's several things that you can do. One of them is making sure that your profile is up to date and actually relevant for your target audience. But the other part is you can have a great profile, but your profile views won't increase if the SEO isn't correct. So in other words, all the search terms that people would go onto Google for and look to find somebody like you, if those aren't within your profile in your about section, in your experience section, and also in things like your recommendations, then ultimately people are not going to find you. But the most important bit, and this is the part that was the hardest lesson for me to learn when I, going back and I was investing tens of thousands of pounds in my security company, on marketing experts who were going out, and I thought I was literally, things were amazing because I was everywhere. You could go on Twitter, and I had a Twitter page. I had my Twitter page, I had my Facebook page, I had my LinkedIn, I had Pictree, I had all these amazing things, but the engagement was, next to nothing because I was doing the spray and pray approach. I was literally just throwing stuff out there. But the key ingredients to anything on social media is engagement. So you can post on every single platform, but if you don't go and engage on that platform, then it's a waste of time. So let's talk engagement quickly. Ray, what forms of engagement? Nick, you can drop those in the comments if you want to, and Joel as well. Ray, what forms of engagement do you think will increase your profile views?
Well, obviously to comment on something, but I've been, but I've also been using just the like sort of the like buttons, just generally with kind of like to celebrate or to think it's insight, kind of like those emoji things. I've done those. So trying to kind of it's a soft sort of way of saying I'm here without necessarily saying, not shouting about it. But then if I feel encouraged to want to make a comment, I will. So I've been doing that.
Okay. So Nick, meaningful comments on others' posts. Yeah, absolutely. That's quite a big one. If you're not showing up in the places that your target audience hangs out, how can you expect them to come back and look at your profile? So really, really important. Posting content is one thing. Posting content is important because it provides a landing page, as it were, for your target audience to go and check you out. It gives you credibility and all the rest of it. Yeah, post to groups, absolutely. But the key thing is making sure that you're active and you're adding value. What most people do is they adding ads. So they go to, as an example, it may be a group, it might be a company page or anything else. And have you ever seen somebody comment on your own post, but basically talk about their own expertise doing what you do?
Yeah, I've had that. They turn around the engagement question and it becomes an ad for them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really annoying. Now, if you are doing everything really well on LinkedIn in the sense that you're bringing good value, you're answering questions, and you're also making sure that you're engaging with your target audience. In other words, the three things that are really key, remember, we're going right back to the beginning, is your image, your headline, and your name. Those are the three things that follow you everywhere. Yeah, Nick, very good. Show expertise without selling. But those three key things, just by doing that, and also visiting target audiences' profiles, because how many of you have seen when you get an alert that somebody's viewed your profile, or you've seen on your page that somebody's viewed your profile?
Yes.
So we've all seen that. The problem is, if you're not doing any activity on LinkedIn, you're not going to get anybody visiting your profile. There's going to be no inquisitiveness. There's going to be nobody wondering, why did Ray visit my profile? Okay. So then you've got, the profile views is all about increasing that. It is all about the amount of activity you spend engaging with others. Yeah. So with yours, Ray, you can see who's viewed your profile there.
Yeah.
And you can also see, you can go into quite a bit of detail as to, 11, if you go up a little bit, it says the 11 found you through LinkedIn search. Okay, so that's 25% of people that have found you through a search on LinkedIn for the terms that appear on your profile. And you can see over there, to work for Motivate Coaching Academy. So that's probably either myself or Joe or Joel.
Yes, fair enough.
Or yourself. Then we've got Northwest London Chamber. So all this information really becomes valuable. So if you can go and visit and go and check out that information, and it will always show you the first like 3 or 4, and then it's premium if you want to see more. But the reality is 99% of what I teach is on the free version.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't use even a like even 3 or 4% of the available opportunity on LinkedIn. So if you just on a daily basis go and click on who's viewed your profile, and just whatever shows up, if there's 2 or 3 or 4, is visiting their profile and then engaging with their content, what's going to happen is you're going to increase the chances that you get leads through this, because it's not about having tens of thousands of results. It's about getting clients out of it. So you might get 44 search results, which we can increase massively. And I guarantee you in the next 3 weeks, if you consistently continue to engage with others and posting 3 times a week, that number is probably going to be 5 times, 10 times the amount.
Okay, that's good.
So, but just going and looking at those people that are viewing your profile, going back and finding out, why did they come to my profile? Yeah. So can anybody think of how would you go about approaching somebody that's viewed your profile? Like, what would you do about that?
Well, for instance, this Henrietta de Cruz, she's a new contact. She actually she obviously viewed my profile, but also she actually left a message on she made a comment or said she liked something. So I said, and I went to her profile, and all I could do was follow her. But I did your thing about, well, actually, she's looking at my profile. She's left a comment. I just sort of said, thanks for leaving a comment. And I sort of sent them, I pressed the button to connect to her, and I didn't mention to connect. I just said, thanks for looking at about that question. I really enjoyed your question. If there's anything else I can help you with, please feel free to message me. And then she just connected straight away.
Okay. So, and that's such an important message, because most people, and think back to when we've covered that in the past, it's really important that you don't try not to come across like everybody else. Because if you come across and you go, please, will you connect? It's almost like you're begging for them to connect or asking permission. But if they've engaged with your profile, doing just what you've done now, by saying, hey, thank you for engaging with my profile and for your question, and being very, you're basically just starting a conversation. So it's almost like if you had a network meeting and somebody's engaged with you, they've asked you a question, and then you go, instead of responding to them, you go, is it okay if I respond? Or is it okay if I continue this conversation? Would you allow me to, can you give me the secret password? It's just bizarre behavior. So carry it on as natural as possible by just going into, starting the conversation as to why did they engage? Where did they see you? And you can do the same as when somebody views your profile. A lot of the time it's, it's a time thing. So when people go onto your profile, getting more followers. Yeah, absolutely. We'll cover that both on personal and company profile. So the key thing here is, and sorry, threw me off slightly there, Nick. Where was I going?
No idea.
Nick thinks it's funny.
Thanks, Nick. Where was I going with the engagement?
But I do know that I don't have those tabs at the top of my who viewed my profile list.
Ah, okay. We'll go on to yours in a second, and Nick, we'll go on to yours as well, and then we'll go on to mine so you can have a look. But so the key thing there with those that viewed your profile is, sorry, I was talking about timing. So a lot of the time when people go onto your profile, so I go onto LinkedIn sometimes at obscure hours purely because of my wonderful sleep patterns at the moment. But sometimes, somebody might go into your profile, but it's in the middle of the work day. They're just about to jump in a meeting, and they might be looking for somebody who can work on brand, but then they find you, Ray, and then they haven't got time to actually engage and start the conversation. What ends up happening is they've viewed your profile, life has happened, they get busy, and then they forget to come back, and then they'll do a new search later on. Now, I have had so many people where I've started relationships and we've become like real good friends through LinkedIn, only because of the fact that, and I've had quite a few clients through this because I've gone, hey, why did you view my profile? And one of them, as an example, came back and went, oh, well, I was looking for LinkedIn services, but when I looked at the time and I looked at the time difference where you were, I didn't want to message you at like 3 a.m. So US clients as an example, and then I totally forgot to get back to you and I couldn't find your profile because I couldn't spell your name right. Like something as simple as that. So I potentially would have lost an opportunity because they couldn't find me again, because they might have used a different search term, or they couldn't remember the spelling, or they didn't know how to find the history on LinkedIn. That person is basically gone. But because I went back and I just said, hey, what brought you to my profile? I'd love to know how you found me. And then they'll come back, and sometimes I've had things like, oh, you follow so-and-so and you commented on their post and I really liked your comment, so I thought I'd follow you. And I'm like, okay. A conversation then starts because, and as an example, last night, a client of mine from 2 years ago sent me a WhatsApp message at like some obscure hour. And I thought, what's about? And I messaged her this morning and I was like, what's happening? And she was like, oh, no, I saw one of your posts and it made me think about this other person. And if you go and check on WhatsApp, I've sent you her contact details. If you can contact her about LinkedIn. It's only because she commented on one of my posts and I sent a message back, hey, how have you been? Because I haven't spoken to her in over a year. So little things like just pick up the obvious signs that most people miss. So if somebody views your profile, go back and find out why they viewed your profile. If somebody's following you, go back and find out why they're following you. Because guess what? If I go and send you a message on LinkedIn, Ray, and we haven't spoken, but I commented on your post and you responded, and what is the first thing I'm going to do before I contact you?
Well, you're going to look at my profile, obviously.
Correct. So what you want to do is you want to be able to create that vicious circle of how do I get people back to my profile? So in order to get people back to your profile, you need to make sure that you're looking at those people that are already looking at you, go and look at them and then engage with their profile. Because guess what? When you engage with their profile, what's going to happen is more people like them will see the engagement, and it will, so as an example, will come in your feed that, hey, Ray's just commented on this person's post. And that person's connections, other people like them are going to see that. And therefore they might sit there and go, as an example, if I'm one of Ray's, if I'm a competitor of one of Ray's clients, and I see that my competitor is using this new brand guy, then I might sit there and think, oh, hold on, I don't want to be left behind here. Maybe we need to look at our brand. So this is one of those things that you want to initiate is, every single customer that you engage with, look at it as an opportunity to get their competitors to see what they are doing in a way that's not, salesy or too obvious, but just adding value. Because at the end of the day, there's something called the Jones effect. Everybody wants to be, they see what another business is doing or the competitors doing, and then they'll try and pick that up. So if you look at LinkedIn as an example, when Clubhouse came out with its audio, all of a sudden Twitter came out and they were like, oh, we should do audio. And then Spotify came out and they wanted to do audio. And then LinkedIn came out. So all the social networks were kind of looking at seeing what their competitors were doing and stepping up the game. So you've got to have a look at how can I bring value to my clients so that their competitors will also want to jump on the boat and come and use my services. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, it does make sense. It's just quite a it's quite a difficult question. It's quite a kind of a complex question.
Yeah, indeed. But the answer is very simple. It's engagement. So engaging with those people who viewed, engaging with those people who followed, engaging with those people who comment on your posts. All of that's going to create more people to come back to your profile. Okay. And that's important. So I'm going to go through some examples. Joel.
I'll just stop my sharing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go to Joel, and then I want to go to Nick.
Make sure I'm on the right tab first. That would be helpful. I've got too many open for my own good. That wouldn't really be very nice. No wonder Google Chrome crashes periodically. Right, here we go.
Oh, you've got different hair, Joel.
Okay, so if you go and look on that, and you go and look at the analytics, so profile views, you see the difference there, right?
Oh yeah, no, Joel's got loads of profile views.
Okay, now the main reason there is he is extremely active on LinkedIn at the moment. He posts on a regular basis. He engages with every man and his dog.
Sometimes literally.
Yeah, literally. But he is connecting. He's doing all the right activity. In fact, a lot of the times Joel shows me up because I go, hey, go and do this, and you'll get X, Y result. And he'll go out and he'll bloom and do it more than me. And I'm like, oh man, now I'm trying to keep up with. But this is a good thing. So as an example, Joel.
Yes.
And I want to focus on what's available on the free version, because everything else is a bonus. But if you go and have a look at see the top 3.
Huh?
Okay, the top 3 on there.
Yes.
It says viewers might be interested in, you might be interested in. Now, this is something you've got to start asking yourself, okay, is if you go and look at these figures, are the right people looking at my profile? Are the right companies looking at my profile?
In the case of those two, definitely not.
Okay, so if you look at that, number 1, the Social Saturday Squad, yes, those are a lot of people that you engage with, and is one of the kind of strategies you use to grow your network. That's a good thing that they're actually viewing your profile and still engaging. But the other 2, they might, if you're getting generally those type of people engaging with you, the people from Upwork or Fiverr, it's generally people that are going to try and want to offer you services. So basically the sellers are winning and the buyers are losing when it comes to your profile right now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so right now, I can guarantee you've got people offering you services every single day on LinkedIn.
Not correct.
When it comes to the people that are connecting to you, they're sending you connection requests. How often
but if I don't know,
somebody offering you a service?
Only when I post in tagging certain things like Social Saturday Squad or Social Saturday. These people jump on the bandwagon.
No problems, Nick. Yeah. So what I'm talking about is the pitch slap side of things. How often does that happen to you?
3 in the last 6 months.
What? That's really impressive, because most people get connecting and then offering a service almost every day. So
and one I actually pitch slapped them back and they didn't like that.
Yeah, I know, but that's a good one. I mean, Ray, with yours, how often are you getting people trying to sell you services?
Not that often, maybe once a week, maybe.
Okay, so this means we need to up the activity. Okay, I get maybe 5 to 10 a day.
Okay, well, you've got 16,000 connections, that's why.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons. Yes. Okay, so let's go up again, Joel.
This is the top.
Yeah. Okay, and I'll go back one step.
Physically, okay.
No, don't step away. There we go. Okay, so if you have a look at, click on your profile again where it says your name or your face, just there. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. Okay, so you've got 789 profile views. You've got 2,600 post impressions. So that's basically how many
Average
people
for
are
me.
seeing. So if you click on that,
Mm-hmm.
and for some reason yours has come down. Since December, have you been doing what? Is there anything that you've been doing less of? Oh, you haven't been well over
No,
there.
I've been posting every single bloody day, mate.
Yeah, but how active have you been over the last week compared to normal?
Very, but not posting every hour of the day, but very
So if you
probably
change the
posting.
7 days, go to the top of the page, and
Mm-hmm.
days to 28 days. Show results.
Okay.
So you're over 250. So you're just below that 750 mark. So we need to be able to get that up for you as well on the impression side of things.
Yes.
Go to 365 because I'd like to see the trend, because it hasn't been a year since you've been active, because I think, yeah, so you can see in March that,
No, it wasn't March. It was June.
no,
June, wow.
March.
July.
If you go back to March, you were flatlining before March.
Mm,
So in March is when you and I started engaging. And then since then, it's, you've stepped up the game, but you've had that one where you've had 10,000 or 12,000 impressions. And then the rest.
yeah, that was when we started the company page.
Yeah. So with all of that, you can see your activity has changed since March. But one of the things that, and you've got 195,000 impressions since the beginning of the year. Now,
Yes.
I can guarantee you with both of you, your numbers are going to be at least double that, if not more. And if we go back a step, Nick was asking the question about company page followers. So I'm going to let Joel answer that. How have you been getting more people on your company page to follow you?
I just mentioned my company in some of my posts.
Okay. What else have you been doing? Because I know there's
There
something.
we go.
Okay. What else have you been doing?
Live streams.
Okay. No, but with your company page, how have you been getting people to follow your page?
I ain't been paying
Stay
ads.
at the top. Stay at the top. Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to increasing your company page, one of the things that you
Yep.
can, and this is both on company page and your personal profile, is if people don't know about it, how can you increase the followers? So number one, as Paul mentioned, you mention it in your posts, mention it make sure that your company page information is up to date on your personal profile. But the other part is, if you go to the right-hand side, you see there where it says invite connections.
Yep.
And it will say there, and you've done it. So
no, I haven't yet done it today, but yes.
No, okay, but you have been doing it. It shows you've only been doing this since March, but you're already in, like, there's certain things that you don't think about anymore because they become natural behavior.
Yeah.
Things like where it says 200 out of 250 credits available means you've already invited 50 people to come and follow your page.
Oh yeah, I've invited 9,000 people to page invites. So yeah, I think I need to clean that out at some point.
Yes, but this is the beauty of it is every month you get a credit of 250 invites that you can send out. So one of the behaviors that you need to be consistent at is make sure that every single month you go and invite people to follow your page. Now, what kind of people that can you go and follow? Can you go and ask to follow your company page?
Well, obviously everyone that's connected to you.
Yeah.
From location, current company, school, I never bother with.
Yeah. But also, it's only going to show people that are first connections. Those are the only people that you can send to. So what do you have to keep doing in order to be able to have more people to invite? Ray?
Oh, well, obviously you've got to be making more connections.
Okay. So, a lot of people go, and I've heard this before, where people are going, oh, well, I don't need new connections. And they'll stay, they'll only invite people that they physically have met, at a meeting, as an example, or have worked with, which means their network grows very slowly, which means their following grows very slowly. Now, I'm not saying you want to go after vanity where you just randomly, connecting with everybody, but what you do want to do is you want to start meaningful relationships. So you've got to get into the habit of everybody that you've connected to, make sure that at some stage you get them to follow your company page. Okay. So Ray, who can you think of right now that you have regular contact with that you can invite to follow your company page?
Well, Joel and you.
Okay. Who else do you have regular contact with on a monthly basis?
Well, Arwin and people like that, and sort of like quite a number of people, all my IBNG people.
Yeah. So can I ask you this question then, or I'm going to ask you this question. Have you invited everybody from IBNG to follow your company page?
I didn't even know this invite connections thing was there.
Okay. So this is why we're doing it.
So this is fine, but equally, I'm looking at my company page. I've got to start doing something with my company page that would make it attractive for them to go there in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing. Most people wait for perfection. So the problem with that is they are waiting to, there's always an excuse as to why they are, I will do something when, or I'll get something done when. And that prevents people from moving forward and getting growth. So the key thing there is just start inviting, because guess what? If somebody goes, hey, Ray, you haven't posted on your company page. Why am I following you? Hey, well, that's a great question. I'll post more. What kind of content do you want? That's a conversation starter. But I'm anybody that I've sent an invitation to one of my company pages, turn around and say, hey, Mac, what's the point here? They either accept the request or they don't.
No, right, okay, no, okay. Well, I do. I mean, looking at my company page, and I'm looking at it as somebody else would look at it. I've got to add some articles or something on it. It's got to have some content.
Yeah,
here's some ideas, Ray.
Yeah, I've neglected it.
So if you go to Joel's company page, it's he's doing all the right things on a regular basis, because he is sharing updates of what's happening to the company, events that's happening with the company, people that he's connected with, and all of those things as well. So for yourself, talk about customer wins, talk about brand value, talk about the things that you give clients advice on. If you can go and do top 3 tips, but remember, a company page you don't have to post to more than maybe once or twice a week, if you want to really start building it actively. And it doesn't have to be anything like a thesis or anything. It could literally just be your personal post on your company page.
Okay, if it's kind of business related, or kind of it feels like there's some resonance.
Exactly.
So could I do that just by going into the my post and copy the link and then posting that into my company page? Yeah,
that's it.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Means, and then at the bottom of your the bottom of your posts, one of the things that I suggest you do is you have almost like an email signature. So effectively what you have is, hey, if you enjoy my content, please remember to ring my bell and connect with me, Raymond Patmore, and follow my company page, and then tag your company page in the bottom of the post as well, because that gives you an opportunity to make people aware, because if you don't tell them, how are they supposed to know?
Okay, so on the company pages, you've got to ring a bell, haven't you?
Correct.
Which is ridiculous.
No, a company page you just have to follow. On a group, you have to hit the bell. On a personal profile, the personal profile, even though if as long as you're engaging with people, you don't really have to ring the bell. But if you want to just be kept up to speed, but not necessarily be talking to that person every other day, then you ring the bell to make sure that you get the notifications.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, that's interesting.
Jesus, that was 7 months ago already, Mac. Can you believe it?
Yeah, and you've trebled it by that since then.
I've overtaken yours as well.
You are. I need to do some more invites because that's something, again, you're showing me up on. But that's good. So in order to increase people that are following and engaging with you, you need to make sure that you're doing all the right activity. So, you get credits for a reason, you might as well use them. So everywhere that you go, make sure, even if you send people a message and new people that you are connecting with, let's have a look over there, follower demographics. No, down a bit. That's it. So you can see, again, whether you're hanging out in the right places by where people are following you from. So I mentioned a while back, one of my clients that was, literally on LinkedIn 360 days a year for over 3 years, posting every single day. He was getting insane engagement. But when we looked at the countries that he worked in and where the clients that he services in the telecoms industry, it was his target audience was in Africa and the US. But when we looked at the engagement, the US and Africa fell right down at the bottom of that list. And at the top of the was the UK and Europe. So he had great engagement, but the numbers meant nothing because he wasn't getting any business from it. So these are places that you can go and look at for the telltale signs of, am I engaging with the right people? Are the right people engaging with me? Does that make sense?
What is this?
Others.
Yes.
That's a accumulation of everybody that's not on that list.
Well, isn't that a bit lazy to do it that way?
No, because the percentages get too small after a certain amount. So what they do is anything above a certain percentage. So over here, everything above 1% is pretty much on there, and anything that's less, they basically just pocket into one group, because otherwise you'll have thousands on that list. Because remember, these are like main cities putting in there.
Yeah. Where can you actually show the countries or not?
So if you go up a little bit, scroll up, location. Only on the premium version can you go into a bit more detail.
Well, when I get that back, that's the first thing I'll be doing.
But that should show you, as an example, you've got
oh dear,
and that's all the industry stuff. But
oh dear,
your location stuff, social networking platforms, that's 20% of people. So that means you just need to have a look at what you want to have on there, or what type of what are the key people you want to have on there, Joel?
Neurodiverse, I want to hit the neuro market, the Tinseltown, if you want to call it.
Yeah. What else?
Musicians are down there, media productions down here, but again they're down here. Education.
Yeah.
Law can go and suck it.
Information services, strategic management services, all these things are really ripe for you, aren't they, Joel?
Yeah, but also things like
all the ones that are down, all the ones that are down here are right. All the ones that are up here, well, that one is interesting. I didn't think that would be up there. and I don't know why that's there.
Advertising service.
That needs to, yes.
Of course, the reason that that's there is because there's a lot of people who would love to sell, because you're a CEO and founder. The moment you have
Right.
CEO and founder in your title, you go on every single salesperson's list.
Oh, fuck.
It's one of those things. But you want to be able to have. So if we go back, Joel, stop sharing there. I want to show you. I'll show you
All right.
quickly. No problems.
I will hand back the reins to you.
Okay, so where is?
No hat and no microphone today, Mac. What's going on?
Hey, no hat, no microphone.
No hat, no microphone.
My yeah. Making sure that I can what's the word, process today. And I think the cap was keeping my head a little bit restricted today. Anyway.
No comment.
Sure. Okay, so let's go. In fact, let's go back one step. And go.
I love it how it just says me.
Yeah.
Oh, look how good Mac is.
Well, Nick, Ray, this has taken.
I know. I'm not being.
It's taken time, but also the key thing is I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary that's magic at the moment, because my activity over the last year,
Yep,
been massively down on my activity from last year. Like I've posted maybe a third of the amount of posts I did from last year and engaged with even less, but I've had the best over the last year. But the only reason is because I've been showing up consistently. I haven't disappeared off the face of the earth. So if I go, there have been days where I have. But if you look at my analytics across the board, like for me, these are very low at the moment.
Right. Okay.
So,
I'd be happy with those.
well,
So
continue doing what you're doing and you will get to these. Now, for me, these are all very low. So profile views is, again, it's those people, I engage with those people who view my profile. I engage with those people who follow me. I engage with my target audience on a regular basis. People, I say happy birthday to people, everybody, if I can, on every single day. I congratulate people every single day on what's been happening, because guess what? When I do that, it's just like saying, hey, I'm still here, I'm still alive. I know for Joel, that would be pretty impressive, because half the time he doesn't, he's sending out smoke signals and I haven't responded. But
what was today? What was yesterday's phone call? Was there Mac? What was it, 13?
I don't know. Well, yesterday I was, anyway, let's not go there. If you have a look at this, the profile views directly related to how much activity you're doing in the right places. Okay, so engage with you, engage with them. Your target audience, engage with them. Your competitors, engage with them. Now, post impressions, for me, again, I'll go into that in a second. Those are quite low. But if you look at search appearances, so for me, these are the keywords that I've been found for. So Sales Navigator, which is good because I want to be found. In fact, I'm getting clients through people searching for these special words. A combination of these. But chief executive, always. Why they've tried to find me for PhD, I have no idea, because I don't have one. But clearly I must get one.
Didn't need to know that.
But for me, these are the important ones over here. So if I look at, founder is one of those, are the type of people that I work with. Executive directors, business strategists. Those are the real ones that I want to be dealing with. And salespeople, maybe, because I can still help salespeople. In fact, I help a lot of salespeople with how to use LinkedIn to target clients. And then administrative, again, that's a bizarre one. But I tend to have a look at this every 3 to 4 weeks. I'll come and have a look and make sure that I'm on par and the right people are looking at my profile. because this gives you an opportunity to
Hey,
really,
Mac.
yeah.
Want to know what my only keyword people search for? I don't know how
What's
that's
it?
even possible.
What's
Doctor and author.
Have you got that in your profile somewhere?
No, I have not.
Hmm.
So if
I
you
set my
look-
profile up with you. How could I?
well, who knows? We'll have to have a deep dive into that. So if you're looking at the top titles, you want to make sure that the top titles, it's the target audience, it's the people you want to be looking at and engaging with and working with, that they are showing up. If you
Yeah, I have got those on
marketing
mine. Yeah. I mean, even though my profile views are low, my engagement demographics seem to be fine. It's managing directors, founders, owners, and city directors.
So here's the thing, your engagement, if you could name 10 you've engaged with in the last week, who would they be and what source would they come from?
Sorry, what was the question?
If you could name 10 people that you've engaged with in the last week.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, they're probably all managing directors of their own companies. Yes.
Yeah. So as an example, if you're only networking with, say, the IB&G network that you go to.
They're all going to be managing directors because they're sole traders. Gotcha.
Correct. But so you've got to, there's a lot to this detail, and we can, I can go one-on-one, and we can go into a lot of detail to have a look at, is it, because you might see founders and go, oh, well, that's great, I'm doing a great job. But actually, it's the only people that are finding you and searching for you are the founders of the people within your own network, but you're not getting any other business from that. So therefore, we need to have a look at, okay, can we go into that a bit deeper? And then when you look at who's also viewed your profile, you can then see if they're not new people coming up in there, then that's a concern as well, because that's not broadening your network.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. So yeah, I've got work to do, obviously.
Okay. It's these things, just by doing what you're doing right now, by engaging with people within our network, but also externally, and posting 3 times a week, you're going to double your numbers in the next 30 to 60 days. Okay. So search appearances are important, and then post impressions. Again, for me, it's all about activity. I haven't posted in 3 days, so then I didn't post for 3 days because I've been out of action. But if I go to the analytics as an example, and you can see where I've been active. And this year, last year I had well over 1 million impressions. I was much more active. This year it's dropped because health-wise.
You didn't sleep.
Yeah, literally a third I've been out of action, which is quite scary. But if you look at those trends, the one thing that I can look at is, okay, so last year I was much more active, more days of the week. So actually, if I take that, divide by the number of days I've been active, my overall is actually, I would have been at more than double of what my performance was last year had I been active as much as I was last year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, indeed. So
again, these are the things, and you look at my over the last year, these are the people that I want to engage with. So I'm 100% on par on who I want to engage with. So managing directors, founders, chief executives, founders, and owners, co-founders. That's exactly who I want. Now, 3-4 years ago, when I looked at that, it was marketing, marketing departments, salespeople, web development. It was basically all these people that basically wanted to provide me with services. So I was being sold to, I wasn't doing the selling. So this is where you want to get this on target over the next 30 to 60 days, and then you'll see all of that change.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's
okay. So what I want you to do is the task for today, and I'm going to play this game too because I need to up my game.
Please don't say you're going to play Wordle.
No, I've never played Wordle. I probably should because it might do my brain some good.
Yeah, it will be better than Candy Crush.
I've never played Candy Crush. Quite sad, hey?
No, not at all. You don't want to play Candy Crush.
No, you don't. I'm ashamed to admit that I'm on level 50, and
Ooh,
when I first started, I thought, okay, I'm going to play 1, and then that's it.
Yeah, there you go. I've got an addictive personality, so I know if I do play, that'll be it. Eight ball pool. I can take one on 8-ball pool. So anyway, when you look at these 3 numbers, the task that I want to set yourself.
Yes.
If you go into the chat, I just want you to put in the chat what are your numbers for today?
You've seen my numbers for today.
But I want you to put them into the chat. Okay, so go put into the chat, X number of profile views, so many post impressions, so many search appearances, and then set yourself a target for December of where you'd like to see that number.
Oh.
Chat. Where's the chat?
Where's the chat? I thought that would be the easiest part to find, Raymond.
I'm old. 45.
Oh, you said it, not me.
Exactly. So 44. I don't have much to kind of beat. That's really quite cool.
And then Joel, I'm going to set you a task separate to this.
Excellent.
If you can do a screenshot of those 3 things on your profile, on your
yes,
and then go to the TLEP5 group on LinkedIn, share yours, and then go task for this week is to share the numbers you currently have and the numbers you'd like to see by the end of December. No, not the goal for yourself for the end of December.